Here's an intriguing text. Says, guys, the Jets would rather give up assets to get a 39-year-old, $50 million past his prime Aaron Rodgers than to get involved with a 26-year-old recently MVP in his prime Lamar Jackson. This doesn't make any sense. What the hell is really going on here? I mean, that's at least a fair question to pose, that if you're the Jets and you're looking for a quarterback, why wouldn't you be involved with Lamar Jackson while you're in on Aaron Rodgers? And
because everybody wants it now. And they think a guy like Aaron Rodgers in 1 year can take them to places they haven't been in a long, long time with the kind of players that they have on offense. And they're really pretty good defense. I mean, there's a lot of teams that think Aaron Rodgers can do that for you in just 1 year.
Yeah, last year.
I don't understand why the San Francisco 49ers haven't pulled that trigger and why they didn't do that.
With Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I don't. That's the one I don't get.
think they can afford it. That's the biggest thing with them is the cap space problem. Plus the capital to give up to get
with them, it's not just a playoff; it's Super Bowl thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think Kyle Shanahan can be questioned for that he's not involved, and John Lynch can they afford it though under their cap? Because remember, Aaron Rodgers just last spring signed, at the time, the richest contract in NFL history.
$58 million guaranteed this year.
$58 million.
Minimum.
Now, and part of the discussion yesterday with the Jets was earlier in the week when Woody Johnson and the team contingent flew to California. I'm assuming was, hey, we got to bring that number down a little bit. We got to. I mean, I know that's an expectation, but if we're going to make this happen, we need to figure that out. But yes, he's owed a lot of money, and from the Aaron Rodgers side of it is he was back-to-back MVP. Not last year, notwithstanding, when he had an injured thumb where he wasn't great, but they also traded Devontae Adams and didn't have great weapons for him. Jets feel like they have assembled the right team. Defense is top 5. Offense features Garrett Wilson and top receivers and a top running back in Breece Hall.
Right.
So yes, I think the Jets feel like this can be their Matt Stafford, right? We're going to go get.
Yeah, you can win a Super Bowl the following year.
But they are the Jets.
I know, but they feel like they can. They feel like they can actually win. Lamar, they don't feel like they can win a Super Bowl. They feel like because he's young, he's going to be there for a while, and eventually they can get to the Super Bowl. But I don't think they feel like with Lamar Jackson, all of a sudden next year they become a Super Bowl team. I don't think they're not thinking that.
Well,
I don't think there's a lot of teams that are thinking that he makes them a Super Bowl. I mean,
let me just say,
he gets you in the playoffs. Yeah, he can get you in the playoffs. He's gotten the Ravens in the playoffs.
Well, this says there is a narrative that you have to run a specialized offense for Lamar. He can run any offense, and that's the debate. Look, again, you can't have a Lamar Jackson debate, I don't believe, and you weren't here yesterday for it, but without saying that his team has spent fewer dollars on their offense.
Oh, no, they haven't had anybody to throw to.
I mean, have you watched him throw the ball, though? It's not a pretty sight.
Well, he's gotten better every year that he's been in the league. He's gotten better.
He's still, in my eyes, probably a bottom 5 passer.
Well, but when you say that they're 32 out of 32 teams in spending money on the offensive side of the ball while he's been a rookie, that's arguably shameful. We don't know what he looks like with a full cast of weapons.
No, we do not.
You don't know
that
what he
includes
looks like.
Running back because they're always hurt.
They're always hurt. They have not drafted or developed a top end or traded for a top end receiver. Mark Andrews is their third round tight end out of Oklahoma, who's their best weapon by far. But again, when you're spending last in the league on offensive talent, I mean, you can't hold that all on the quarterback.
And that dude doesn't have any problems getting the ball to their tight end.
They have drafted receivers. They drafted Marquise Brown,
and they're not
in the
good.
First round, they drafted who's the kid out
Rashad
of
Bateman.
Rashad Bateman.
Well, but they haven't worked out, and that's Rashad Bateman is one of the guys that's carping right now. He hasn't done much. But again, that's the chicken and egg question with Lamar Jackson. Do these receivers not flourish because of Lamar Jackson, or are they not very good? It just begs the question at 26, what if you put Lamar Jackson into an offense that was full of weapons, full of offensive weapons, and it's not a specially designed offense for him. It's just an offense. I do think he's worked on his passing. I'm not sitting here saying.
Will that guy get hurt when it comes to playoffs? Yeah, his body gets worn out by that time, I believe.
Well, look, no one's ever going to confuse Lamar Jackson with Aaron Rodgers throwing the football.
No.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is maybe the best thrower of the football, along with Dan Marino, in the history of this league. Lamar Jackson is not that. But gosh, I mean, his overall record, his ability to win football games cannot be discarded. And yes, the Ravens are a team traditionally built on running the ball and playing great defense, and Lamar Jackson brought that extra punch. But it would also be interesting to see Lamar Jackson with a full cast of players. Who
did Joe Flacco have when they won the Super Bowl? Who was their best receiver? Torrey Smith.
They had Torrey Smith. They had the great running game. They had them. And they were.
It's not. It's a similar roster makeup as to what Lamar Jackson has, and I guarantee you, people would say Lamar Jackson's better than.
Well,
Joe
no. Answer what
Flacco.
I'm saying though. Wouldn't you like to see Lamar Jackson in a contemporary offense full of weapons?
Yeah,
I mean, you can't say that he wouldn't be able to be better.
I don't think he can play in most of the offenses in the NFL. I don't think he'd be very good.
Okay.
I mean, I think if you put him on San Francisco, I'm sure he can make it work. But if you force him to throw the ball, it'd look a lot like Jalen Hurts looked 2 years ago in the Philly offense when they weren't putting him he has to be put in a position to succeed to throw to have success throwing the ball. It has to be off play action, kind of like Dak and Jalen Hurts.
Well, that's what the Ravens need to do.
He's not going to be able to ever drop back and throw a pretty 10-yard route 20 times a game or a 10-yard out. He's not that kind of guy in my eyes.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's the opinion of many. I would like to see him in a more contemporary offense, but obviously,
But is it worth $230 guaranteed?
$230, no.
To see if it works. Wouldn't you rather have an option that
no. I mean, let's be honest about this. Lamar Jackson's going to have to come off of his guaranteed contract more than Deshaun Watson demand. He's going to have to. No one's going there. I mean, whether that's collusion or not. I mean, I think
they're not doing that again.
No one. I mean, I would argue
next time they do that, it'll be Patrick Mahomes again if he continues to.
Yeah, but do you think Justin Herbert would get that contract?
Yeah, but
if he demanded it, I think he would, because he's proven he can make all those throws.
Well, Lamar, look, I don't know that Patrick Mahomes is going to go there. Patrick Mahomes was pretty clear when he signed his 12-year deal with the Chiefs.
Well, he wants to win. He
wants to win. He understands.
He's going to get enough money. He's going to get enough endorsements. He wants players around him to help him win trophies.
Well, and look, I'm not carrying the mail for Lamar Jackson. I'm just presenting his side because it doesn't feel like anybody is. Same time, Lamar Jackson's his own worst enemy by not having an agent. The other thing you don't see Lamar Jackson doing a lot of is endorsements. Why? He doesn't have an agent out that's selling him. An agent sells you. An agent is your person. He's the one selling you. He's the one making arguments like I am about this player.
Yes, and because of his real skill set, he is a liability. Because when he runs, he's a liability every time he takes off and runs like a running back.
Well, I mean,
that he's not a running back.
I mean, I would like to see him on an offense that's not the lowest paid offense in all of pro football. But at the same time, I can't sit here and tell you unequivocally he's going to be a great passer of the football. I think he's gotten a lot better. I think he works at it. But I do think he's his own worst enemy with this guaranteed contract demand and being his own agent. I think he has gotten in his way on this situation. But I think someone will pay him. Right? I mean, and it's very likely that the Ravens just went non-exclusive so that they could let the market, because Lamar Jackson believes he's worth X. The Ravens have said, no, we believe you're not. And
also, we'll let the rest of the NFL tell you what you're worth.
The market will tell you, and if someone gives you a big deal, we'll decide whether we want to match it or not. And at least to this
it's going to be pretty easy.
Yeah,